Hello guys, I'm going to go through how to work out questions where you have trickier proportional relationships. So I'm going to go through two examples and then there's some questions for you to do afterwards. So first question, we're being told that A is directly proportional to the square of B, and we've also been given a pair of values. A is 125 when B is 5. This is very, very similar to the ones you did last lesson. The difference is one word, this bit in here. So instead of A being directly proportional to B, it's now directly proportional to the square of B, or B squared. So first thing I'm going to do, very, very similar to how we started doing the ones before, I'm going to write A is proportional to B squared. Therefore, A is equal to some constant K times by B squared. Notice the bit that's being squared is the B, not the K. It's K times the answer to B squared. I'm now going to use the two values I was given in the pair in the question. That's going to allow me to work out the value of K, and then I'll have a complete formula. As soon as I've got a formula, just like before, I'm going to be able to work out questions like this. Okay, so I'm going to substitute in 125 equals K times 5 squared. 125 is 25K. Make sure you do the squaring, okay, and then you'll be fine. So we've got 125 equals 25K. I'm going to divide both sides by 25 in order to solve for K, and I end up with 5 as my K value. Okay, so now I've got that, I can make myself a formula. I can say that A is equal to 5 lots of B squared, and that's always going to apply. That's the relationship between A and B sorted. So now looking at question A, we're asked to find A when B equals to 7. So all I do is I substitute 7 into there, and I can then solve for A. So A equals to 5 lots of 7 squared. A equals 5 lots of 49. Now, if you have to times by 5 and it's a tricky number, an easy way to do it is times by 10 and then half it. So 49 times 10 is 490. And then if I half 490, I'm going to get 245. So A is 245 when B is 7. For part B, I've been asked to work out B when A is 2,500. So I'm going to substitute that in here this time. 2,500 equals 5 lots of B squared. Divide both sides by 5 first of all. When I divide by 5, I'm going to get to 500 as B squared. B is going to be the square root of 500, and I'm going to write that as a nice surd. Okay, and then we can think about what we know about surds. If you've got root of two values times together, you can break it up. So if I can think of a factor pair of 500 where one of them is a square, I'll be able to simplify nicely, and a square number that's a factor of 500 is 100, so I can write it as root 100 times root 5. Root 100 is 10, so 10 root 5 is B. Okay, let's have a look at a second question. You might want, if you feel confident with this now, to pause the video, have a go, and then we can play it afterwards. So here's our second question. C is directly proportional to the cube root of D. When D is 8, C is 10. You're going to need to form an equation, and then once you've done that, you're going to find C when D is 64 and D when C is 3. Okay, so here's the process. C is directly proportional to the cube root of D, so I just need to make sure that is going to appear in my proportionality statement to start off with. So C is directly proportional to the cube root of D, therefore C is equal to some constant K times by the cube root of D. I've got my pair of values that I've been told. That's going to allow me to get to a formula, so I can say that 10 is equal to K times the cube root of D. Sorry, the cube root of 8. I put both values in at once. The cube root of 8 is 2, so 10 equals 2K, and K is 5. K won't always be 5, it just is in these two examples, okay? So now I've got K, I've got myself a formula. I can say that C is equal to 5 cube root of D. Make sure you still have that cube root going in all the way through. Now I can do part A. When D is 64, C is 5 lots of the cube root of 64. The cube root of 64 is something times itself to get me 64. The cube root of 64 is 4. So C equals 5 times 4, which is 20. And then for part B, I'll do it down here. For part B, I need D when C is 3, so sub it in. Okay, divide both sides by 5. 3/5 is the cube root of D. To solve for D, I need to cube both sides. So I need to do 3/5 cubed to get D. 3/5 cubed is 3/5 times 3/5 times 3/5. And when you times fractions, you just times the numerators and times the denominators. So 3 times 3 times 3, 27. 5 times 5 times 5, 125. And you'll probably notice you can just cube top and bottom there as well. So D is 27 over 125. Okay.